Ladies, gentlemen, and others, welcome back to another episode of Take Me Out to the Podcast, postseason edition. It is Clayton Kershaw Day. It is Yu Darvish Day. It is Sixto Sanchez Day. And for the White Sox, it is to be determined day. My bracket is already irreparably broken. The Yankees did not like my bracket. Neither did the Astros. What about you, Alex?
I mean, the Astros didn't like my bracket, and San Diego injuries did not like my bracket.
Yeah, we both made our predictions about 2 hours before Dinelson Lamet and Mike Clevenger were out for the entire round. Yep. That's not looking great.
Yeah, no, that was my World Series pick. But if I had known that Lamet and Clev would be out for the first round, I probably wouldn't have picked them to beat the Cardinals. But here we are. The rest of my bracket's looking fine so far. Miami can mess it up a little bit today, but we'll see.
Yeah, I picked Miami to beat the Cubs because I just thought the Cubs were bad and their bats were just not there. I picked Cleveland kind of in the same region. I thought their pitching would be able to at least push the series to 3 games. Mm-hmm. That didn't happen.
Nope.
Alex Funderburke, our resident Yankees fan, he's
pretty happy today. I'm hyped. I mean, that game last night was insane. So like, hello to Gio Urshela and to Gio Urshela only. You're a hero. That play, well, first the grand slam, and then that play he made in the bottom of the 8th to basically save the game. I mean, keep it a 1-run game on his back, got the double play was huge. But I mean, like I was telling you earlier, there was never really a doubt in that game. They went down 4-0 after the 2 rain delays, and there's just a feeling like you knew Tanaka was going to settle down. He was going to get in his rhythm, and you just knew the bats were going to wake up, and they did big time and won the game. So on to Tampa Bay.
What about that mess of a rain delay? Put you back 2 hours, and
that it made me mad because everyone had said like there was no rain at all, and then they started playing, and as soon as they started playing, it was pouring rain. And one Cleveland meteorologist tweeted, she was like, they shouldn't start this game at 7:50. Like, it's about to start downpouring. Like, push it back another hour. Don't start. And then they started, knocked both starters out of their rhythm. And they should have just waited until that second rainstorm passed. And because you would have saved Tanaka, you would have saved Cookie Carrasco. And who knows what happens then. It might be a closer, less high scoring game because both those pitches are really good. So, but I mean, I think I'd be more angry if the Yankees lost, but they won, so I'm okay with it.
And how do you feel about your Yankees just absolutely demolishing the easy AL Cy Young Award and potentially the AL MVP in the first game of the playoffs? How big was that?
So coming into that game, I expected the series to go 3. I thought this yesterday or 2 days ago would be like 1-0 and the Indians would get like a solo shot off Cole and that would be it. But they came out right away. I mean, DJ went oppo for a single, then Judge went oppo for a 2-run bomb. I was like, whoa, they're hitting Bieber. Like, so maybe Bieber's stats were just because he was facing the Central and the Central doesn't have that good of offenses. But I think Bieber is legit. I think he's still the Cy Young. Like, it's not a playoff award, but it was crazy to see him get rocked because I think the stat was he's given up 3 earned runs once this year, and he gave up what 6 earned or 7 earned? 7 earned. Yeah, he gave up 7 earned against the Yankees, which never in my wildest dreams would I expect that to happen.
Yeah, I just think Shane Bieber is the greatest American patriot we have because he was shelled so thoroughly that every resident of the swing state of Ohio was able to watch that presidential debate.
Hey, there were 2 train wrecks in Cleveland. Like, it was. I mean, hey, shout out to Bieber. He wanted his constituents to watch the debate.
Yeah. And then last night with the Dodgers Brewers, I mean, with Corbin Burns going out, Devin Williams going out, I think they had another reliever come out very late as well. I don't think either of us were really too worried about the Dodgers' chances in this series.
Not at
Obviously, a
all.
3-game series, it's a lot harder if you go down 1-0 just because of random BS that happens. The Dodgers did employ a weirder pitching setup. Bueller
Mhm.
threw 4, Julio Urias threw 3, then to Trinan to Kenley Jansen. Great seventh inning insurance solo shot from Corey Seager.
Yep.
Brent Sucher pitched like crap. I
Yeah.
There's no other way to describe it. A bunch of walks, two runs in the first. I mean, just an absolute train wreck. If you're the Brewers, what is your game plan going into today?
You gotta hope Woodruff can give you like 7 2-earned runs. Because if that doesn't happen, it's gonna be a sweep. And I think without Burns, that hurts. Without Williams, that hurts. But like we said, this was probably going to be a sweep anyway. I will give the Brewers credit; they kept it a lot closer last night than I thought they would. I really thought it was going to be like 8-0, 9-1, but and Yelich had a chance to tie it in the top of the ninth. So the Brewers definitely kept it closer than I thought they would. But if Woodruff can get you seven innings, 2-run ball, 3-run ball, you have a shot because Kershaw's shown he can't pitch in the playoffs well. So can Kershaw get over that hump? That's another thing I'm looking forward to tonight. But it's hopefully this game will be another close one. I know you don't want it to be close, but I like good baseball and I like close games. So I'm hoping for a close game, but I really do think the Dodgers will just blow them out of the water.
Yeah, I was talking to Kayla last night, and she's also a big Dodgers fan, but she also really likes Christian Yelich. So
Mhm.
we agreed that 47-1 Dodgers win, but Yelich hits a home run. That's
Yep,
that's what we
there
said
you
was
go.
acceptable.
There you
And
go.
I really did think it was going to happen. Kenley Jansen has been mostly pretty good this year, aside of 2 or 3 really bad blowups. But when he blows up,
He
he
blows up.
he blows up. And 2 outs, walk to the Brewers 9-hole hitter. Christian Yelich comes up. He hasn't been amazing, but he already had 2 hits in the game. In my
Mhm.
head, I was like, oh, we're going extras.
Yep.
Not a doubt in my mind.
Yeah,
And he
no,
was able to.
the Yankee game ended and it was the top of the ninth, right as the Yankee game ended. So I quickly flipped back over and Yelich came up. I was like, dude, I was telling my roommates, I was like, yo, we're gonna go to extras. Like Yelich is gonna tie this thing up. And then Jansen threw that fastball in the other batter's box and Yelich swung. I was like, okay, this game's over. Like he's not hitting it. It's over. And I went to bed. But it if Jansen can look like he did last night, I think the Dodgers will be fine.
Yeah, and speaking of one of the most interesting games, in my opinion, a 13-inning game, first game of the day at noon. Trevor Bauer and Max Fried both pitching incredibly. The Reds used their
Hmm.
5 best relievers only for, in my opinion, the NL MVP, Freddie Freeman, to walk it off.
Yeah,
Were you watching that game?
that game was fun. That game was a lot of fun. And like for a casual baseball fan, it's probably really boring, 0-0. But um, I love good pitching, so that was like my dream. I really thought that was going to be Cole versus Bieber, but it was Bauer versus Fried, and to go 13 innings of just 0-0 ball was really interesting to watch because the Reds had multiple chances to blow the game open
Oh
in
yeah.
extras, and they just didn't. Their bats fell asleep. And then, like you said, the NL MVP, Freddie Freeman, came through and won them the game.
I mean, how disappointing is that Reds offense? They had bases loaded multiple times. First inning, second
Yep.
and third, I think no outs or 1 out. I mean, how frustrating is that for a guy like Trevor Bauer who could potentially win the Cy Young?
Oh, I mean, you saw it in Bauer's post-game press conference yesterday. He said, "I'm disappointed. I was told to bring my A game, and I brought my A game, and now we're down 1-0, and I have no control of the game tomorrow." I mean, you got to be really frustrated if you're Bauer. Like, you dominated the Braves, and you still lost. You didn't give up a run. You struck out 12, I believe, over 7 2/3. Didn't walk anybody. Gave up 2 hits, and you're down 1-0. Like you can't do much better than he did, and they're still down 1-0.
Who do you think there's more pressure on, Luis Castillo or the Reds offense?
Got to be the Reds offense because I think Luis Castillo knows who he is. He's great. I mean, the Reds are lucky they have basically three number ones in that rotation. So if he doesn't have a good game, you still got Sonny Gray tomorrow. Or no, wait, yeah, no, they'd be eliminated if they lost. My bad. But if the Reds offense does not wake up, if they go quiet again, they're done. Like you can't rely on Castillo. Like if Castillo, let's say Castillo gives up 2 runs, like you got to be happy with that if you're the Reds offense. So go score. Like you can't win a game without scoring. So got to get runs on the board for Castillo, and live to fight tomorrow to get Sonny Gray on the mound.
Yeah, so that game will have already completed, hopefully, by the time this episode releases at 6 tonight. What's your score prediction?
I'm gonna go 4-2 Braves. I don't think the Reds bats come alive. I think Castillo goes like 6 and 1/3, 3 runs, and I think the bullpen will give up a run.
I think the Reds squeak it out 3-2.
Interesting. Okay.
Barely.
I like it.
In the 10th.
I'd love a game 3.
3-2 in the 10th. Yep.
Okay. I like it.
That's the next game of the day, I think, is the Cubs at 2 Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
Yu Darvish and Sixto Sanchez, 2 of the most electric arms in baseball, period. Sixto Sanchez, young kid from Miami, getting called up. I picked Miami to beat the Cubs.
Yep.
Not sure if they're going to beat Yu Darvish tonight. I mean, he struggled in the playoffs before, 2017. But what do you see from this game from these 2 amazing right-handers?
I really want to see Sixto. He was their number 1 prospect. Can he perform in the playoffs? He performed all year. I think the Cubs will win, but I want to see Sixto ball. He's one of my favorite pitchers to watch. He has electric stuff. He's really good, but he's a rookie. And can you rely on rookies in the playoffs? That we'll have to wait and see. But it's going to be a fun game.
Yeah, and the Cubs relievers were not excellent yesterday. Jeremy Jeffress let up a home run. I mean, are you confident in the ability of Craig Kimbrell and Jeremy Jeffress to get it done tonight with the season on the line?
Not at all. If you can't go like 7, 8 innings, 2-run ball, 1-run ball, I think Miami's going to take it because that bullpen is extremely shaky. Kimbrell's shown all year. He's not the Braves Craig Kimbrell. He's not the Red Sox Craig Kimbrell anymore. So if you can't get it done basically by himself, it's going to be a sweep.
Yeah, and Sixto, his first 5 starts, he had a 1.69 ERA. His last 2 starts, he did face the same teams again, but it was just absolutely disastrous. Do you think that facing a new team could help him, or do you think he's just going to be so inconsistent you have no idea what to expect?
I think having a new team will help, and I also think the Cubs bats aren't anything special either, so I think that also helps. I don't think they'll let him see the lineup a 3rd time through. I think he'll go 2 times through, and that'll be it. And throw it to the bullpen. But he's a rookie, so he might look like a rookie, and I think you kind of have to expect a rookie to look like a rookie sometimes. And for the Marlins' sake, I hope that's not today. For the Cubs' sake, I hope it is today. I picked the Cubs to win the series, so. But that series for me was a toss-up from the jump. I really didn't know how to pick it, so I wouldn't be upset if the Marlins won. I think it's a great story if the Marlins get to the NLDS, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably Pablo Lopez going tomorrow if the Marlins win. Maybe John Lester. If the Cubs win, that's going to be a nightmare because he's been bad. But I mean, this game should also have ended by the time this releases. I'm going to say 5-4 Cubs or 5-3 Cubs. 5-3 Cubs. That's my final score prediction.
I'm going to go 6-5 Cubs. I think it'll be high scoring.
Yeah, sir, but we're both picking the Cubs. Darvish has been too good this year for me to bet against him. I can't bet against him. And then we'll get into White Sox Athletics. Giolito absolutely dominated on Tuesday. Then Keuchel did not.
And with the A's, like Luzardo looked good in game 1. He just made 2 mistakes, and they just both happened to be bombs. But game 1 and game 2 were drastically different. Giolito had a perfect game through 6 innings, went into the 7th with it, and lost it, but they dominated, so it was fine. And then yesterday, the A's bats woke up. Chris Davis went yard. So we'll see what happens today. I think it's going to be another close one. I think this is that was by far like the most fun series in the first round. Um, I have the White Sox going to the World Series. My roommate has the A's winning the World Series. So like that's a fun little matchup in our apartment. But I'll definitely be watching and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and neither team has announced a starting pitcher for the game as of right now. Um, it's I'm thinking maybe Dylan Cease for the White Sox and either
Hmm.
Sean Manaea or Mike Fiers for the Athletics. I mean, I have no idea. They could start, Alex Colomé and Liam
Yeah,
Hendricks. We have no idea.
go bullpen. Yeah. If it is Dylan Cease, I don't know why I believe in Dylan Cease, but I do. So um, he was on my fantasy team this year and always got me good amount of points. So I'm a Cease believer. So I think he'll pull through if that is their starter.
Yeah, I mean, not to crap on Michael Kopech because he's been dealing with a lot of stuff this season on
Mhm.
and off the field. How different is your outlook on this game if this is Michael Kopech's day?
Um, it's a lot different. I think that changes everything, but it'll be like this game is such a coin flip. Like if you told me the A's are going to win in a blowout, I'd be like probably. Or if you told me the White Sox would win in a blowout, I'd be like, yeah, I can see it. So like or we could have another like 14 inning game. So this is such a either way. It's 50-50. I really don't know how to call this game.
Yeah, I feel like both teams are going to score like 10, just an
Probably.
absolute bloodbath. But us saying that right now, Mark Canha is going to hit some, inch over the wall homer, and that's going to be it for the game. No,
Yep.
no matter what, we're wrong.
Hmm. That's how the playoffs have gone so far. It doesn't seem like I'm getting much right.
Yeah. So instead of picking a score for this game, let's pick the first person to hit a home run. Who's your first homer between the White Sox and the Athletics?
Give me Luis Robert. I think the rookie's going to come through. I think he's going to win the game for the White Sox, and I think he'll in the second or third inning he'll go yard.
Yeah, I don't know why, but my guts making me pick Ramon Laureano. I don't think they're
Okay.
gonna win the game on it, but that's just who I
Hmm.
think is gonna hit the home run first.
That'd be cool. I love him. He fought the Astros all by himself.
Yeah. And now the spoiler of both of our brackets, San Diego Padres and their two best pitchers being
Uh,
unavailable for this wild card round. I mean, we don't know if they'll be available later in the season at all, but resting your season on Zach Davies, I don't know how much I like that.
it's gutsy. It's a gutsy decision to make, but I mean they kind of had to. They had no other option. But yesterday, Paddock looked awful in the first inning. I mean, 4 earned runs in the first, six total. Only had one strikeout. That's not going to win you any game ever. But I will say the Padres bullpen came in and looked pretty good. They only allowed 1 earned run, and it was in the top of the ninth. And the Padres had their chances. They had chances to come back, tie the game. They got into a 2-run game. Tatis had two huge at bats. He struck out with the bases loaded in the sixth when they're down 6-4, and then grounded out with two runners in scoring position in the eighth, still down 6-4. So he had an opportunity to take the lead and an opportunity to tie the game, and didn't come through. So I don't know why, but I think the Padres will get this to a game three, and then what happens tomorrow, who knows? But the Padres showed me that they're not dead. Like
Yeah.
there's still life there.
I mean, Adam Wainwright has a 2.81 ERA over, more than 100 per career postseason innings. But, he's an old man now. He's not, the
Hmm.
stud Adam Wainwright who's coming out of the bullpen in the fourth inning and finishing the game off. He's an old man trying to just, you know, worst case, if Adam Wainwright, lets his team go to game three, it's not the end of the world for him. But for Zach Davies, a very league average pitcher,
Hmm.
this could be the end of the road for the Padres. And, they are a year ahead, but how
Oh, for
important is
sure.
this just for morale of that team, of that city, to push this to a
Oh,
game three?
it'd be huge. I mean, coming into the season, if you told me the Padres were in the playoffs, I'd probably call you crazy. Like, so the fact that they're there now is already big. But if they can get this to a winner take all game three at home, I know there's no fans, but like that's still huge. Uh, for the city of San Diego, for the team going into next year if they lose. It's a big stepping stone. Like, what are they? Okay, sure, they got eliminated this year if they lose today or tomorrow. But what are they gonna do next year now, right? They get Clev back. Paddock hopefully will look like Paddock of last year next year. So they have a lot to build around, and like you said, they're a year ahead of schedule. So it'll be interesting to watch this team going forward.
All right. So in terms of game twos, we have the Reds, Braves, Brewers, Dodgers, and Padres, Cardinals. Which of those series are going to game three?
I think the one that has the best shot is the Padres, just because Wainwright is not Wainwright of old. He's an old guy now. I think the Padres bats might jump him early, but I definitely think that's the best one to go to game three. I would not be shocked if the Brewers somehow pull a win out today, just because it is Kershaw. He hasn't looked great in the playoffs ever, but for your sake, I hope that doesn't go game three.
You're breaking my heart, Alex.
I know. But if I do think the Dodgers will win, but I will not be shocked if that gets to game three.
Well, Alex, thank you so much for being on Take Me Out this week. And if you want to hear even more of our terrible takes, tune in next week for the division series action. Thanks.
Yep.